Hey everyone, so we just wanted to go over what types of things you should be bringing out when doing landscape photography. Typically you'll be going out on a hike or going out into the wilderness, and so there's some key things to think of both in terms of your photography gear but also just personal things to bring. In terms of camera gear, obviously enough batteries and memory cards so that you're not running out of battery or not having enough memory cards or enough storage to take all your photos. I have a 128 gigabyte card and 3 batteries just in case. For photo, that's typically more than enough, depending on how many days you're going to be out in the field. Alongside that, we have a tripod that just for different scenarios, it's nice to be able to not be always holding it, but resting on a tripod, get the same shot over and over again, or maybe play with panoramas, different things like that. Additionally, I brought out a polarizer filter and ND filter. Typically, I don't use the NDs as much with photography, for video much more so, but polarizers absolutely to really get that sky to punch. We'll talk about that later. We also brought a wide range of lenses, so everything from telephoto to very wide angle. Some of them are a little bit faster, some are a little bit slower, but really just covering that whole range. We also brought some prime lenses so we can sort of compare, working with the prime lens versus zoom lenses when out in the field. Really just having those options is always nice, but sometimes you need a lighter pack, so you just have to pick one lens and stick with that one lens. So we brought both options so we can talk about everything though. Now, because there's 3 of us, obviously we were able to bring a lot of gear, but typically for a beginner or someone just getting out there, whatever lens you have is probably going to be fine for landscapes. I recommend something between the 24 to 70 is really just the general wide and telephoto. You can sort of do both in there. But typically for landscapes, people really like the wide angles, really being able to see the entire width of the landscape in front of you. Personally, I really love telephoto photography for landscapes as well though, to really zoom in on something really far away like that mountain peak that's off in the distance and zoom in and capture that. So there's no one way to go about it, but a general starting point is that sort of wide angle to somewhat telephoto lens. Maybe your kit 18 to 55, it's a good starting place. Along with all your photo gear, you also need to think of the fact that you're walking into nature. You're going for a hike, whatever it may be. Good footwear. Hands down, one of the most important things. If you're going to be on your feet all day carrying a heavy backpack with all of your camera gear, you've got to have good support on your feet. It's really, you're going to feel it the next morning if you don't. Wearing proper attire, we're out here in the desert, so I have sort of lightweight pants on. I have a shirt. I did bring a jacket to put over my arms, but it's going to get hot here soon, so I took it off. Lots of water. Make sure you have enough water. I personally love having my insulated bottle. Just because it keeps the water cool and it's very durable. I can sort of throw it around. We also have camel packs that go into your backpack, so you don't need to be dealing with a water bottle, which is always nice to have. A good backpack to be carrying stuff. Make sure you know how much weight you're carrying. Some of the smaller backpacks just don't have the right support, and it can put all the weight towards your lower back, which can really cause you some back issues. So make sure you get the right backpack. Make sure you balance the weight in your backpack correctly. And then some treats, bring some trail mix, bring some things to keep your blood sugar up, to just, it might not feel like you're doing a lot, but carrying that weight, and even if you're standing in one place for a long time, it can be tiring on your body. So make sure you bring some treats. A hat is huge. I personally, I have my sunglasses for while we're hiking. When I have to go and put my eye to the lens or to my camera, I can't have sunglasses on. So at that point, I want something to be able to shield my eyes from the sun and then still be able to get the shot. So I recommend both. And then sunscreen, obviously. You don't want to, fry your skin. So all those things, if you're a hiker, you probably know most of that stuff, but the additional weight of the camera does change things. And so just make sure you practice, do a couple day hikes or something before you do anything too big, because that weight does add up and it can take a toll on your body. So those are some tips of things to bring. So thanks.